Hey guys and gals, Jim here with an update on my 1000 scale Polar Lights USS Defiant model that I decided to light and throw some extra goodies on there. That's not with the kit and everything. And the first thing you'll notice is got all those little clear blue circles lit up and all that. And I did light block the centers of them. They're going to get washed out on camera, of course, like anything usually does. But the next thing I did was I took and on the bigger model, these are molded in two. But what I did, I took and I drilled each side of them, and then I just took my hobby knife and cleared out the center between the two drill holes and all that. Sliced those open. So I got, and then what I did is I installed a piece of clear styrene, sheet styrene, cut a piece to fit in there, and then I just used the red transparent. I use Model Master. To me, it don't matter, but I used the Model Master on just transparent red Model Master paint, and gave them a couple coats of red and all that. And they're a deeper red than they are in the video. So, but anyway, just thought I'd show you. I got haven't installed my strobes back here yet. I'm using fibers for those. I did stick a little 50 millimeter fiber optic short strand in there just to light up the front of the bridge. It's not going to give me the fanned out effect, the floodlight effect, but it does shine up on this edge a little bit inside this circle here, so that's pretty cool. These are two red lights that are usually on there, and I'll tell you a little bit about that red right there, but they will be a lot darker red once I get done with them. They're kind of, one's a little more clear, one's a little bit more red. For the windows up here on the nose, I got my, I use fibers on those, and being I use one LED, it's kind of up around this area, so it's not going to light all the windows. I didn't want to stick too many LEDs in there and get that part up front too bright, so I just decided to fiber these windows, and that's it. I got the two on the bottom, and there's three on the top actually too. So these here two lights, they don't do nothing. They don't flash or anything, but I've noticed on some models, some studio models, it might depend when it was, but it might have been the Star Trek motion pictures, Search for Spock. That's what this is based on. You don't see those, and sometimes you see one here, one back here a little further back, and then you got your strobes back here. But these, the one over here and over here, and on the model there was a couple of little raised nubs that were molded in, and it's almost like a lot of times what Polar Lights does, they mold in little bumps for like what would be your lights and stuff. If you ever notice, like on the 1000 scale ships, especially the refit, the Reliant, they got like a little bump there that would be like your light if you want to paint it or something. So I did drill those two out, and I got a fiber installed in there. Let's see what else we got going on up here on the bottom. And I put some tape over these LEDs so that I don't give you guys eclipse view. On the bottom, you'll see I got the two yellow lights down there. Some pictures I seen on the internet. I did some searches for studio models. They looked almost orange, but I found some that they show more of a yellow. So I went with yellow on those. It's a story about those too. So we'll talk to you. I got all the windows on the bottom drilled out. There's some underneath the tape there on both sides. Got all that drilled out. These fibers are already installed. They're not hooked up. Those are going to be two strobe lights down there. And then there's a fiber down back here. It's not lit right now because it's a long fiber. And I'll tell you the reason I got that going on. That's not lit yet either. But I got the fiber installed in there. As far as the front of the nose, and now this model's not sealed up or nothing. It's only closed enough so I could show off all this exterior lighting. But I got the blue going on in there, and in person, it's not washed out. It's a real subdued blue, but it does look real nice and stuff, and it's it's everything's light blocked as far as the framework. So I got the three triangular shapes that are shown in the blue, and all I did with that was using all clear LEDs, and it's just easier than having different colors. And the reason I'm using all clear because I'm using a lot of LED tape too, especially to get all these fibers to light, because they're not directly tied to a light source. They're just in there floating around, and they're picking up the light from all the LED tape. And I put extra tape, probably more than I need, in there just to pick, so everything picks up the light without having to do connect separate bulbs to the fibers. But I just used the clear blue Model Master on those pieces, and it's going to be the same with the these here pieces for the rear, and the red parts on the sides of the I call them the cells, even though they're more like wings. But what I did, I just milled out a slot in there, so most of the red is going to be hitting by the bulb. I got 3mm LED back here for the blue, 3mm LED for the red up there. Same on the other side. I got tape over them. Like I said, I didn't want you guys to think you were looking at the solar eclipse or whatever. So that's what's going on with everything on the exterior right now. It's getting close to being buttoned up, and probably later tonight or tomorrow. And before I start doing the decals, I'll do another video and stuff. So let's pop her open now. Like I said, I just got her lightly buttoned up, and this is going to get bright for a couple seconds, and I will turn it off pretty quick, but you're going to see just how bright I got it in there. That's all the LED tape I used in there. I got one shining down, one up above on both sides. I made a little out of my sheet styrene. I made a little framework so I can mount one facing down. That way it lights the windows. The ones up above, that's to light the red and the blue, different clear parts up there. I got one down the center to give me some more light. Plus I got these fibers that are just hanging loose in there to light those. Up here I got same thing. I did a couple pieces of sheet styrene strips and use hot glue, well, my cold shot actually, and I glued some strips underneath. That gets the windows along the front part of the ship, facing toward the bottom of the ship. And here, these are just helping to direct light down, mainly to hit a lot of these fibers that are just going to be hanging. That's what I mean, they're hanging loose, but they still pick up the light. Up here I got my fibers. This one's for that little bridge light that I showed off on the exterior. And these are for the windows coming up there. There's the LED, 3mm LED up there for the nose piece, the blue that's up in there. So right now that's gonna be it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna unplug these lights so we can get some more detail and get some more light on there. And give me a second, and I'm going to turn on some overhead room light, so bear with me. I'm going to set the camera down for a sec. Okay, so that's pretty much what I got laid out in there. You can see where I got my clear sheet styrene. Those are the kit pieces painted with the clear blue. I still got take this tape off now that we're unplugged. Looks good on that side. And the outside of here, you got your port and starboard. They won't be flashing or nothing like that. They're just steady on, but you got your port on one side and your starboard on the other. And all I'll be doing is I already drilled out When the two halves were together, so I'll glue a fiber in here, run it into here, and it'll pick up off all the interior lights, all my LED tape, and the same on the other side. I still have to install a fiber up in this nose, no, fiber through here, and all that. Now the fibers for my strobe lights, I'm using fibers on there. I'm going to run them down through the base and mount an LED underneath the base, tied into one of my circuit boards, the little tiny circuit boards that I make for my strobe lights. And this isn't a strobe board. This is a fade on and fade out board. But here's a general idea of one of my circuit boards. Give you an idea when I pick it up. Sometimes I make them smaller than this if it's just the strobes or the NAS, because this is made with a 555 timer, a transistor for a kind of like flat fading in and fading out, like something you'd see like on the Martian war machine, how it gently fades in, fades back out, like a pulsing type pattern. But that's pretty much what that circuit board is kind of for, different things like that. I actually had that kit, and something got messed up in it, the wiring in the neck up to the head, and there's no way that was coming apart to repair it, so I ended up trashing the kit. Someday I may build another one. It was a pretty basic kit. I just thought it was cool looking and stuff, that's all, but there wasn't really much to it as far as lighting. But anyway, now you noticed I had a couple yellow lights down underneath here on the exterior. I'm using yellow fiber optics. If you hook it, using yellow there, the rest is all clear. What I'll end up doing is, if it's supposed to be a certain color, I'm going to end up painting a tip. In here, you'll see a couple strands of red. That's for those two red lights that are on the outside of the hull, the top of the hull. And they're just little short pieces glued in, and they're picking up all the light from all the LED tape I have in the bottom section. That's why I use so much LED tape. I really wanted to get the inside of this as bright as I could, and just use short pieces of fibers rather than running full fibers to LEDs and everything like that. Especially those windows, I wasn't going to run full fibers. You'd have to bring them up, curl them around and stuff, and it was just too much. It seemed like this is a more simplified version. Plus, for the first time, instead of using flat black and then going over it with gloss white for my light blocking, I used I just shot straight aluminum paint in here, gloss aluminum from just pretty much plain old Krylon or whatever it was. Don't remember which brand, but it's basically the same thing, Krylon or Rust-Oleum. And that's pretty much gave me my light blocking. I did paint the exterior with a Ace Hardware. It's called gray primer, dark gray primer. I did that to any other light blocking that I might miss, especially when you do something where all these mounting pegs are and stuff. It seems like that doesn't get good light black. So I did the exterior with a dark primer, and then I went over it with my my base color, which I'm going to keep, is the Tester's light aircraft gray. This plastic is kind of like a baby light blue, and the ship wasn't blue. It was actually a light gray. In the studio models, it looked more like a Tester's light gray than it did like say a Gall gray or something, Model Master color. So I went with my Tester's light aircraft gray on the exterior, and that's my permanent color. So about some of these colored fiber optics, I didn't bring the whole package out. I just got a couple pieces, a piece of red and a piece of green. Myself and another gentleman at Space Dock Modeling, he purchased these two. We got them off of eBay. I bought .50 millimeter and .25 millimeter. The 50 millimeter came in 150 feet, and basically what you get several strands of each color. You get red, blue, green, yellow, orange, and those are pretty much the five colors you get. They come in about 5 foot lengths, and you get 150 foot worth. It's divided up by the five colors. Basically the same thing with the 25 millimeter, except the 25 millimeter you get 300 feet. Price for each diameter was $10 a package. They did come with a pre-wired LED already inserted into a tube for your light source. It's wired up for 12 volts, either 9 or 12 you can run it on. These fibers don't light up colors. The only reason those yellow fibers I showed you were lighting up colors, you can see them right there, is because the side of them is picking up the light source from the sides. If I was to insert them in a tube with an LED, they would very little yellow, mainly white. It's not no different than using just plain old clear fiber optics. I use a lot of the red 0.25 millimeter on my Star Destroyer that I did a while back. A few of them on the bridge area, a few here and there in the side trenches, because that's what I saw in the studio model. And when I got everything buttoned up and finished up and turned everything on, they didn't show no red at all. They were showing white. Now, if you take a light and hold it along the edge, like the side of the fiber, it will show red. It's a very kind of, not really a red, it's more like a deep purplish red. The green is kind of faded green, but they do show colors. The thing I discovered when I was looking through these, planning on using them for these side marker lights, and that for the port and starboard, hooking up directly to the LED, they were coming out white. And I noticed when I was unraveling the bundle and pulling some fibers out, these are painted with something. They're not colored LED fibers or fiber optic fibers. They're colored with something, some type of coating. It feels real rough and coarse to the touch. They seem like they're not as soft, or they seem like they're more brittle than regular fiber optics if they're treated with something. If they're dipped in something to make them more brittle, they're heavier. They're not as supple when you go to bend them, because you can bend fiber optics to a certain point, but they don't bend as easily. Even the 0.25 millimeter ones, I can bend the regular clear fiber optic way more than I can the colored ones. But I've noticed different areas where you can see clear, and then you see the green coating or whatever, and it's the same with the red and the other colors. It's almost like they're dipped in some type of coloring. I tried to rub it off. I can't really rub it off or peel it off with my thumbnail or something. Maybe if I take a X-Acto or a pocket knife or something, maybe I can scrape the coating off. But they do pick up the light from the sides, and even the clear ones do. That's just normal. But they don't show the colors. If you're going to put a bunch of these together in a light source, a little tube, and expect you're going to have a whole bunch of green fibers to put through little holes or something, ain't going to happen. They're going to show up white. If you go on eBay, it's this gentleman, I don't know if he still sells them there, but that's where we got them. If you go on eBay, you'll see a bunch of different. It's all the same store. He just has dozens and dozens of listings. He's got different diameters, different amounts and stuff. Don't waste your money. If you're expecting to get colored fiber optics like I was, and most likely the other gentleman that I was talking about, it's not going to happen. And I've been communicating with him in the comments on his videos on his channel, and he's seeing the same thing that I'm seeing and everything. And evidently we did buy them off the same place. But anyway, I just thought I'd do this quick update on the Defiant, how it's coming along. This is actually a pretty cool little kit, and it's great for lighting. I wish Round 2 would have done a better job on their big kit. It was like twice the size of this, but that kit was so sad with the warpage issues and stuff, and the amount of putty and sanding you had to do. It was pathetic. This is a darling little kit. When I do close this haul up, the edges, the inner edge and outer edge, it got like a little overlap. So you're going to have very little, if any at all, light leaks that you'll have to putty and sand and everything. These I already got glued down. The only reason I don't have the nacelle halves on this one glued down is because I still got it. When I close the two halves, that's when I'll insert the blue piece in the back. And if you glue that pylon half on now, you ain't going to be able to get that blue piece in unless you press it from the outside, and you take a chance of breaking the clear part. I was going to put LEDs for these little red thruster engines. I painted with the clear red again. There's no need to. I got so much light in there. They're bright. They look like they have an LED behind them already. They light up real nice and bright red back there. I thought about flickering LEDs, but this is such a small model. It's like I'm not going to waste my time. But anyway, we're going to go for now. I just wanted to show you where I'm at with this. It's getting close to being buttoned up. Like I said, maybe later tonight or sometime tomorrow. And then before I start doing decals and doing any touch-ups, if I got to touch up any paint, I'll do another video to show you without the decals and everything, how everything's coming along. After I do get it buttoned up and I'm finished with the decals and coating it with the, probably use a dull coat on it, I'll probably take some crystal clear or else canopy glue and fill in all them little window holes, and they will pick up the light a lot better to it. So, you know, they'll draw the light to the openings rather than just, you know, being a little bit, you know, not as noticeable as they are now. But that's where we stand. I know it looks like a mess in there, a lot of LED tape, but like I said, I wanted this to be nice and bright inside to pick up all the different fibers that I'm just putting short ones in. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of wiring and stuff. I still use magnet wire. I got a bunch of that, so before I switch to anything else in a small diameter, I'm going to finish using my magnet wire. It's a little bit springy sometimes and a mess to work with. It tangles, but I get by with it, and I've got several spools of the red and the green that I use. So till the next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for all the great comments you guys been leaving. Thanks to all the new subscribers who are getting into these models and stuff. I haven't forgotten about the little Star Destroyer and Death Star, the Klingon Bird of Prey, and the Grissom. I still got to make bases, but I make my own bases. I build a few models, and then I take my power tools out. I use all cordless. Then I'll make bases for several models. That way I'm not just pulling tools in and out, in and out, in and out for one base at a time. I like to make several at a time, whether the models are lit or not. After I get done with this one, I'll probably make the few bases that I need to do some final videos on the kits and stuff with that mounted on their bases and everything working and stuff. And then I'll hop on to the next build and stuff. So in the meantime, I do have other stuff going on, but I'm waiting for some stuff to come in. I just put in another order with Radio Shack. There's certain things Radio Shack carries that I can't get nowhere else. As far as the push button switches I like, they carry the resistors I use for my circuit boards, different things like that. The 555 timers, the gentleman at Lighthouse LEDs carries now. So I get them from him. They're like 55 cents a piece. But I ordered a couple 556 timer chips, which is like a 555 times 2. You can actually do 2 different circuits on one chip. So Radio Shack carries those. The gentleman up at Lighthouse doesn't. A few other things I needed to order, some transistors for like my fading, pulsing type circuits. I needed some of those and everything. That's all my little connectors for my circuit boards. The little blue doodads where you just screw the wires in the terminals and stuff. I needed some of those. The only place I find the ones I like is at Radio Shack, and they do still have an online store, but it's very limited as to electronic components and stuff. So, but anyway, till the next time, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it got to be a little bit long, and I rambled on about a lot of stuff, but main thing, guys, if you're going to buy that colored fiber optic stuff, think twice about it. Like I says, it's not worth it. It doesn't work the way you're going to expect it to, and it's just going to end up being a waste of money, you know. So don't even bother. You know, if you want colored stuff, go back to using colored LEDs, and that's what I had to do in my Pegasus Battlestar Pegasus model. Was I was going to use the colored fibers, and I noticed they were lighting up white. I eventually went and put colored LEDs behind them just to make them green and red and all that, because they just weren't doing the job. So on here, probably what I'll do is just instead of putting red and green LED for a couple fibers, I'll probably just end up, you know, running the fibers in there and painting the ends red and green with the clear Model Master, and that'll suffice for those little side marker lights. So we'll be talking to you till the next time. You guys all have a good one. Happy modeling, and we'll see you soon. Bye.